Hey guys, how's it going? Woodsy here, and today I'll be showing you my ranged Demon Slayer guide. In this guide I'll be covering the skills, talents, and items you should be using as the ranged Demon Slayer, and going over basics of just how to play the character. So let's go over some of the positive and negatives of what the ranged Demon Slayer has to bring to the table. First off, the ranged Demon Slayer is extremely fun. His skills are really flashy, he does a lot of damage, he's just a lot of fun to play, so I've personally enjoyed the ranged Demon Slayer quite a bit. Another good thing is that they are extremely tanky due to your skill called Demon Shield. So it's a 20% proc chance, but it turns 40% of your weapon damage converted into a shield. So for me, that's a million shield basically. Pretty strong. Definitely can't complain about that. And then lastly, on top of just doing good damage, you also have armor break, so you are reducing the enemy's armor. This helps quite a bit in later wormholes, so you're definitely not just a solo character, you're good in teams as well. Now with that said, let's go over some of the negatives. Now, the ranged Demon Slayer isn't the fastest at clearing. I'll have to go over this a little bit later in the video, but there's too many necessary talents that you have to put points into that you're not able to put a lot of points into your skills, which means your skills are quite weak, other than just like one or two of them. So you don't get a lot of damage out of your skills, and that's a pretty bad thing for me. Um, with that said, is that his clear speed isn't the fastest either. Your first ability, Trigger Finger, is extremely counterproductive. It shoots you backwards. So if you're sitting here trying to clear, you don't want to be shot backwards. You want to go forward. So you have to unbind Trigger Finger pretty much. Your bullet hell is pretty much the only skill you want to max for clearing, just because it has such mass AoE damage. And it's a really short cooldown. You could pretty much have it up at all times once you hit the 50% CDR cap. Now let's go into my gear choice options. Now for the helmet, I chose Judge, Jury, and Executioner with 3 Wii runes. The only other comparable helmet is a Demon Warlord's helmet. However, we need the 17% CDR to reach the 50% CDR cap without having to use any Von runes. So I would definitely suggest Judge, Jury, and Executioner any day. For the amulet slot, we are going to use Rift Warrior's Skull. Um, it's basically that our High Demon's necklace, but the High Demon's necklace isn't nearly as strong as this. This just adds a ton of max HP, ton of strength, ton of damage, life per hit, mana per hit. It's just too good not to use. For the weapons, we're going to be using Demon Angel. Obviously, they're the set guns. We kind of are forced into them. But they're really good. They're actually probably one of the better items in this game alone. Now, the burst shot that you're seeing on it is added through the ability tokens. It doesn't come inherently on the guns. Only the Lightning Fury does. For the chest armor, we're going to be using the Slayer's Jacket with 6 Wii runes. I know that's a little bit of an investment, but that's what you need to get crit capped. But other than that, it's a really good chest, and it's part of the set bonus. We have to use it. For the gloves, again, set bonus, so we're going to be using the Slayer's mitts. These are really good overall. They give you a lot of fizz damage, CDR, attack speed. Overall, quite good gloves. For the boots, we're stuck to the Slayer's boots just to finish out the 4 set. These are quite good. Mana leech, or I mean life leech, mana per second, a lot of crit damage, crit rate, really good boots to use. Finally, you can use Apple of Evolution or Hellfire Torch or Satan's Chalice, but I prefer Apple of Evolution just because it has move speed on it now. So you're able to cap your move speed as Demon Slayer extremely easy, and I like being able to do that. Going over the passives, I got to play in the beta quite a bit, so I've been able to test a lot of his abilities, And personally, this is what has worked best for me in terms of the talent points. So we're going to be skipping trigger finger. We're putting the 1 point in that. We don't use this skill. We're not going to bind it. This is just if you feel like jumping backwards. We're going to be putting 25 points into Eagle Eye. That is for the 35% armor break with a 20% proc chance. It's pretty much always up, and it stacks, so it really helps your damage. We're going to be putting 25 points into Bullet Hell. That is your AoE. The damage on it right now isn't that significant, but it definitely adds up because it's per impact. So you can shoot multiple impacts per bullet hell. The next one we're going to be leveling up is Demon Shield. This makes you unkillable pretty much. 20% proc rate for 40% damage converted to shield. Like I told you guys, my shield right now puts me to about 1,000,000 absorb. So even starting off early, that's going to be a 200, 300k shield very easily. So it's a very needed point to have. Lastly, we're going to put the last 20 points into Execute. I personally use this for wormholes because once you start getting to the larger or the harder wormholes, mob HP is just that much higher, and as soon as they're lower than 40%, you're doing that much more damage. So I personally think that's a really good talent, but it's either between Execute and Demon's Presence, which Demon's Presence can be extremely strong depending on how many enemies you have close to you, but the goal is you don't want to have a whole ton of enemies close to you as the ranged class. So if I was going melee, I'd probably use Demon's Presence over Execute. We put one into Shredder Trap just because the damage isn't that great, but it's good enough to kill most teeny little mobs. So that's all it really needs. Shadow's Grasp. This is a passive, but it gives you a chance to ignite monsters based on your block chance. Well, not based on your block chance, but it takes your block chance into consideration once you block an attack for how much ignite damage it does. It doesn't do a lot, and you're not really getting enough block to do anything, so it's not worth really leveling up. The last one is Absolute Mayhem. This one's a pretty decent skill. The only reason why I decided not to max it is because the duration cooldown on it is 6 seconds. So even with 50% CDR, you still have a 3-second gap in between each cast of this compared to Bullet Hell, where you only have, I believe, like a 0.5 second to a second gap. So the damage from Bullet Hell definitely seems to trump this one a lot more. And going over to the point that I brought up earlier, you see how you have so many necessary talents that are absolutely needed. It makes it so you aren't able to sit here and invest points into, say, Shredder Trap or into Absolute Mayhem, because you're just committing everything to Armor Break, the Shield, and either Execute, Demon's Presence, and then finally your last skill. So that's a little bit of a problem for me, but in terms of the class itself, I think it's a really strong class. The talents it has is really strong right now for ranged, and I think you guys will really enjoy it quite a bit. And quickly going over hero levels, you're going to be putting all of your points into Gut Ripper. The only reason why in my gear set you see me using Jaw runes instead of Dam runes is because I didn't have them available to me at the time. But you would be stacking Dam runes for the crit damage over the Jaw runes. You already get enough fizz damage from the amulet and just your gear in general. At this point, you just want to max your crit damage to as high as possible, so that includes your hero levels. And that's going to finish up my Slayer or my Ranged Slayer guide for today. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all learned something, and if you did enjoy, please feel free to subscribe and also check out below. You can see my Twitch channel. I'll be streaming a ton during Season 8 and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. Have a great day, guys.